Hello everyone, thanks for joining us. This is Don's Graphics here. In this tutorial, I will show you how to design a church program flyer with the help of your Pixellab application. Please, if you are joining us for the very first time, do well to subscribe to the channel, for we share amazing design tips and other awesome tutorials here regularly. Without wasting much of your time, let's dive straight into today's lesson. So today's tutorial is we're working with 3 images, as you can see. All right, we've got questions from some of our subscribers asking on how you can do or design a church program flyer with 2 or more images, and this, I guess, is one of those tutorials that will show you how to actually achieve this kind of church program flyers with the help of Pixellab. All right, so I want to begin everything at fresh, so you can see. So I'm going to default, and once you are on default, just click on these 3 dots. Now on the 3 dots, it will allow you to see image size. Now image size, the size we are using is 1024 by 1280. Now click OK and you have this size. After you must gotten this size, the next thing is to delete this default text because we don't need it. Now after deleting default text, go to your background. Like I always say, you begin your design by preparing the backgrounds, you bring in the images, and you complete the design with the necessary text or write-ups. This is an easy way for you to be coherent in your design. So we're going to click on the background setting, but then click on from gallery. Now on gallery, I will proceed to my photo gallery to get all the images that we will be using for the design. So the first one is the background layout. I'm going to pick that out. Okay, so this is the background that we're using. I'm going to bring it into the design. So we have this as our background. Now after bringing this, we are still going to bring in another element. But how do we bring that? Click back here on the middle button, then click import. So I'm going to import the next image. So the next image we are using is this one. Let's just bring it here, basically size it up. All right, and I use relative position to centralize it properly. Then go to your opacity and fade this a little so that it can fade with the background. All right, so we can leave it at 80%. We'll be checking as we proceed. Now after achieving this, go to lock and lock this image. After logging up the image, the next thing you want to do is to create another gradient down here. So how do we do that? Just go to your shapes, select a gradient, click on the plus button. After clicking on plus button, we are going to set the gradient colors. So click here and here. This is a fading gradient, right? So after you must have bring this to this end, you click on OK, then you click on OK once again, and we have this, right? So we're going to click back and bring this to be, so we want the fading to be thick enough. So we'll bring it, centralize it neatly, right? And bring it right here. Then we can click OK. Now after clicking on OK, go back to color and change the color into this light orange, kind of a yellow, somewhat yellow color. All right, or you can use white here, there are no worries. Now why are we using this gradient, this giving an orange, a faded orange for this gradient? You look at the other background, you have traces of this same color here, right? So basically we want everything to be blended. After doing this, you want to click on the lock option to make sure that the image is locked, and at this point we can confidently say that our background is ready. Now that our background is ready, the next thing is to start bringing in the images. And how do we bring in the images? So I downloaded some gradients, all right, some textures here. Look at what I'm going to do. I'm just going to crop them by aspect ratio of 9:16. All right, so we are here. Now reduce this neatly. Okay, reduce this neatly. So let's reduce it to a certain size. Then we go and import the next one. All right, so but before we import the next one, let's just bring in the image of the person, right, one step at a time. So I'm going to bring in the images of the celebrants or the they are the celebrants of this great gospel crusade program. All right, so at this juncture we want to begin with this lady. Don't worry, I will be sharing these images with you guys. So we are going to crop this lady neatly. I believe you can see how I'm cropping the image. So this is where you have to be really careful. Okay, we are just cropping the faces and no worries at all. So as you crop the faces, just try to reduce it in size to make sure that it can fit into the shape. So let's increase this shape a bit, then we bring in this image. So I believe you can now see what we are trying to do here. Okay, now that the image is too long, we are going to reduce it. So how do we reduce it? We just crop it upwards a bit. Then we increase this in size. So it was too much. So at this point, you have to be very patient with what you are doing. Otherwise, you will not get the right result, guys. So just be patient. After all, graphic design is all about being patient enough. So let's crop this way. Okay, perfect. Everything is moving as planned. Okay, everything is moving as planned. So we have this image. What we're going to do is to go to color filters, reduce the saturation completely. So we want to make it kind of black and white, then increase the brightness to make the image visible enough to make it sparkling, and increase contrast. So we are reducing saturation to -100. The brightness is at 7 and the contrast is at 13. But then you can change these figures to suit your taste. Okay, there are no particular worries on that. Now the next thing is to bring the other gradient or the other background, like this one here, and I'm going to use 16:9 still. Just crop it out to the point that you want. I just want the middle where we have this light. Okay, let's bring it down a bit. Okay, good. So we're going to reduce this. This is where you're going to use approximation to make sure that approximately the size of the images are the same. This is for uniformity's sake. Okay, everything must be balanced, right? Okay, good. So everything is moving on as planned, and the next thing I'm going to do is to bring in the image of the next preacher. So right here I have the image of the next preacher. I'm just going to crop this out. Okay, I just want perhaps the face. We just want to work with the face. This should be too big, I think. Now we're going to work it out and see how it looks like here. Let's increase this a bit. All right, let's stretch this out. So it's too big or too long, I can say. Guys, in cropping out these images, be patient. Be patient. When I say be patient, I really mean so, guys. But as you are patient, make sure that you have subscribed to the channel. Okay, subscribe to understand. Subscribe to understand the tutorial. If you don't subscribe, I'm sorry, you might not really understand what we're doing here. Okay, so just crop these images perfectly. You have to be very careful with the cropping. Now this one is too big. So as you are increasing the size, be checking to make sure that it doesn't overlap or it doesn't exceed the size of the shape you want to put it into. So let's increase it in size a bit. Now push it up also a little. All right, good. So this one is cool. We're going to repeat the same thing. Go to color filters, reduce saturation, increase your brightness a bit. Please subscribe to understand. Subscribe to understand. All right, So let's leave the brightness by just 5 and contrast is at 13. Okay, then the saturation minus 100. Good. Now the next thing is to bring in another gradient here or background. Remember our rule, we're using aspect ratio 9:16. Okay, good. So this one here, we're going to make sure that it's the same. Okay, reduce it until it's the same like the initial ones. Repetition and the balance are very important graphic design principles. Okay, so bring this one very much closer to the first. We're leaving no spaces. All right, we're leaving no spaces between the images. Okay, so after doing this, we're just going to copy this image because this image is actually 2-in-1. So this is your copy button. For those of you that are not seeing, this is your copy button. Okay, so once we have the copied version, just go back to crop, click on crop here. Crop is just around the copy button, guys. So just take this to this next image. Are you seeing what we're doing? Okay, so we want the next image to be this guy. So we're just going to increase it to make sure that it fits into its own shape. All right, now let's make it to align properly, and that's it, guys. So as you can see, we have successfully put in all the or slot in all the images that we needed to use. But then we are going to go back now on our layer, select the images, use your edit button, which is this, and click on the relative position button to make sure that it's centralized to the middle of your work. All right, now after achieving this, the next thing that you want to do is to check where the team or the event team can enter. All right, right now for the theme of the event, the first thing we're going to do is to bring some shadow here, some shadow effect for the logo of the church first of all. So I'm going to go to our draw tool, increase pen size, increase the smoothness, increase the blur radius, tap your finger on the screen and you have this shadow. Now click on OK and you have this shadow. But then we're going to change it completely into pure white. Okay, then increase it in size, make it big enough, and allow it to cover this section of your work. So let's increase this further and position it just here. Now use your relative position to make sure it's on the middle properly. You can make a copy of it to add it up if you want. All right, but I think it's too much. I will add that later if in case we need it. So let's delete that, go to layer and lock this up. After doing that, go back to shapes, select a circle. So we have a circle here. This circle, we're going to use it for the theme of the event. So just what we're going to do is to bring the circle here. Okay, I think we have to shift the images downward. So let's shift all of these images downward. So let's shift it downward, okay, so that they can give enough space for our team and others. So let's leave it this way. Now we're going to push this circle to fall to the back of the shadow. How did I do that? Check it out, guys. So click on these 3 dots. You can freely move elements. Okay, now at this point we're going to copy this shadow. We're going to copy the shadow to make it blend perfectly. Okay, we want this shape to blend perfectly. We don't want it to be missing now. But I think we can go and increase the opacity of the background image. So we have this image which we are using for the background. Remember, we use the opacity, so just go increase the opacity. It should be 100%. Okay, 100%. Good. Now after achieving this, let's bring in the church logo. Alright guys, so this program, the Praise Summit event, is brought to you by House on a Rock Assembly Ministry International. It's a Nigerian based church and the logo is right here. We got it from Jim Jr. Shout out to you, boss. It's a great graphic designer. What we're going to do here is to reduce, to erase completely, to remove the background. As you can see, this logo has a background. So how do we tackle the background issue? just go to your erase color, enable erase color, and boom, the background disappears. Now increase tolerance, and after increasing the tolerance, click on your check mark, reduce this, and you will see that the background is nowhere to be found again. So this is how you can easily remove background of images that are pure white on Pixellab. So we have House on the Rock, that is the name of the church. Let's lock it up and lock the circle also. So we're going to write a text presents. Remember, I said design begins with importing the elements, and now begins with arranging your background, importing your elements and text. We have done all of that, and now it's the time for our body text. So we're going to write presents. So House on a Rock presents. This should be in capital letters though. Let's change the color to pure black. Then we go use a font. The font we're using is called the Stretch Pro. Stretch Pro is a good, very nice and stretch font. So reduce the size neatly, and after reducing the size, go to spacing and just space this out as you want to 100% or to full capacity. Guys, make sure that you have subscribed to the channel, that you have liked the video, and you are a subscriber. Subscribe to understand the video. Drop your comments, ask questions where you don't understand, and we will be giving you answers to your worries. Also indicate if you want to replicate this particular design. I will drop a link for the WhatsApp group for you to join and drop your designs for reviews and corrections. Now that we have included presents, let's just shift it a little further upwards. After doing that, go back to layer, lock this up, then copy this text. Okay guys, so now let's put the main heading of the design. So the main heading is praise. Okay, praise. Now make it bigger in size. So we have praise, and we're going to go to our color, go to gradient. We're giving it this red and orange gradient. You can easily create that. Let me show you the color code for that. Is red, pure red. The color code is F. Now this for orange, for the blue. Let's take red first of all. The color code here for red is F0011. Okay, then we have for orange is FE00. Okay, take note of the color codes. So we have praise, and I'm just going to increase this for now. Then after increasing it, use lazy position first of all to tack it to the middle. Then what we are going to do, we are going to apply the perspective effect on this text to make it slanty. So go to your perspective tool, which is here, click on it, just stretch it like so. Okay, then you click on your check mark. Okay, let's check that out if it is cool enough. So just stretch it on this end. Then you have to touch this end also. So we're touching these dots. Okay, we're stretching out from these dots. We have praise. Okay, so we have praise. Then I'm going to copy this now and write summit in caps. Okay guys, so after writing summit, we're just going to change the font style into something different. So the font we're using here is Heavitas right now. For summit, it should be Heavitas. Then use relative position now to make sure that it's on the middle. You can shift this up just a bit. So we have praise summit. Okay, praise summit. Now that we have all of this clearly written, just go and shift this down a little bit. Let's shift this downward. So I've praise summit. So we're going to copy this text right now into something else. We're going to write, it's coming up on Sunday the 10th. If I get that correctly, Sunday should be the 10th of November, sorry, November 2204. Make this all in caps. and go to spacing and undo that spacing that we had on that text. Then break it down into two beautiful lines. Okay, let's even make it into three good lines. Increase it in size, position it here, and after positioning it this way, what you're going to do is to change the color of Sunday to orange. So we're going to select Sunday and change the color into orange. So we have Sunday, it's in orange. Okay, let's change to black first of all. Let's select Sunday and change the color to orange. Okay, good. After doing this, copy it once again and edit this into the time. So it's at Sunday the 10th of November 2024 at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. So at 10 a.m. but then we're going to change the color of the time completely into black. So we have 10 a.m. prompt. Then let's break this into two lines. Then we position it here on this other angle. So we have Praise Summit presents Praise Summit Sunday the 10th of November 2024 as from 10 a.m. prompt. Now we're going to include the theme for this event. And how do we include the theme? Just go to circle, to shape, select a shape, which is a circle of course, reduce the opacity, give it a stroke width of about 15. Then reduce this a little further in size. Alright, let's reduce the stroke width a bit to just about 10. Alright, then bring it here, and after bringing it here, go to crop. Let's crop it just to this, make it a semicircle, a very tiny one at that, and reduce it in size. Use relative position to make sure that it's falling on the middle of your work. Bring it right down here. Okay, so we have this. Now it's time for us to bring in the theme, and we're going to write theme in caps. Then we'll bring it here, and now the color we're using is still on black color. Use black. Go to your fonts and use Multi-Serrat bold, semi bold, then reduce this in size neatly. Use lazy position to make sure it's on the middle of your work. So we're going to get a theme, and select a new text, double tap to write the theme. So it's impact overflow, then in brackets this is chosen from Psalms. It's chosen from Psalms 23 verse 1 to 2. Then put this in bracket. Now we're going to change this color completely into black. Then we'll break this text into two beautiful lines. Use alignment, middle alignment of course. and leave it this way. Now we can reduce the line spacing to make it a little bit tiny. Still go on relative position and make sure that it's on the middle of your work. So we have impact overflow, Psalms 23 verse 1 to 2. Praise Summit is happening on this team. All right, so after achieving this, the next thing is just to go to shapes, select a simple square like so, bring it here and stretch it out to fill the entire section or the length of these images. Reduce it a little, and since we have a little touch of orange in the design, we're going to continue with that by changing the color of these into orange. Okay, then after achieving this, we're going to go to this theme just to maintain the same font, copy it and start writing the names of the preacher. So we have the Rose, Evelyn. Make this all in caps, bring it down here, break it into 2 lines, go to alignment and use middle alignment. So this is your middle alignment, take note guys. So we're going to reduce this a little further, bring it here. So what we're going to do is to reduce the size of this a little. Okay, I think it was too big. Then we can shift this up, centralize it to the middle. We have Ada Rose Evelyn. Then the next preacher is Samson. Pastor Samson. Samson David. Then the next, so as you are positioning the names, make sure that they are on the same line. Okay, make sure that they are falling to the same alignment, they are following the same alignment option. So copy the name once again, double tap to write the name of the last preacher, and his name is Samuel Abba. So we have Pastor Samuel Abba. Now bring it here, break it into 2 beautiful lines, and let's make sure that it's on the same line as well. Now that you have achieved all of this, it's now time for us to bring in the location. So for the location, we are going to copy this theme to use the same font. So we're going to write the location. It's at a house on the rock. House on the Rock Assembly Ministry. Opposite Eric Moore at Lagos, Nigeria. So we make this all to fall in capital letters, of course. Please kindly subscribe to the channel if you are joining us for the first time for more other awesome and amazing tutorials. So we have this as the location. Okay, right now we are going to copy this to write venue. Make this to be in caps, okay, and then we're going to bring it right down here. Then increase it a little further in size. Use relative position to make sure that it's aligned properly to the middle of your work. So this is a very simple, nice and straight to the point design for Praise Summit that you can do and achieve using Pixellab. We are going to underline the theme to highlight or to make it very much important. So right now we're going to draw some line under the theme. So go to shapes, select a simple square shape. Okay, just make it tiny enough. So we're going to go with this color. Let's see if that can work. um let's check that out. Okay, it's not bad, but then it's too obvious. Let's check for orange if it can work, since we have already used a lot of orange in the design. All right, good. So I think it's fine. Now let's bring down the theme itself and the line also. Use lazy position to make sure that this line is on the middle. Okay, so we have the theme. Now House on a Rock Ministry Assembly Ministries presents Praise Summit 2024 at 10 a.m. prompt on Sunday the 10th of November. Under the theme Impact Overflow from Psalms 23 verse 1 to 2 will be the theme, and the venue is at House on a Rock Assembly Ministry opposite Eric Moore in Lagos, Nigeria. That's it guys for this design, and that's just how you can design a church program flyer for Praise Summit using your Pixellab application. I will be taking your questions in the down comment section below. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and check the video description for the link to get these resources that I've used for this design. Until next time, stay blessed. It's Don's Graphics.